Hey everyone, and welcome to another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today, we're all about getting those ears working overtime, but in a good way.
Yeah.
We're talking about maximizing your English listening skills.
It's like fine-tuning.
Yeah,
One of the most important
it is.
aspects of language learning.
Absolutely. And don't worry, you're in for a treat because we're about to unlock
Right.
a treasure chest of techniques and resources that you can use right away.
Absolutely.
So we're going deep into a podcast script all about this very topic.
Okay.
And one thing that immediately caught my attention was this idea that listening is about so much more than just picking up words.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's about tuning into the nuances, the rhythm,
Yeah.
the subtle cues that give spoken language its richness and depth.
It's like the difference between reading sheet music and actually experiencing a live performance.
Ooh, that's a great analogy.
Yeah.
I remember struggling with this when I first started learning English. I could understand individual words, but conversations felt like a blur sometimes.
Yeah. That's a common experience, especially with a language like English,
Mm.
where the spoken form can differ significantly from the written form.
It does.
Contractions, slang, idioms.
Oh,
They all add to the complexity, but also the beauty of everyday speech.
that reminds me of a point from the script that really resonated.
Okay.
This idea that spoken English is almost like a separate dialect.
Right.
They use the example of a sitcom like Friends.
Yeah.
The character's dialogue is so natural and full of those everyday phrases you won't find in a textbook.
Exactly. And that's where honing your listening skills becomes crucial.
Yeah.
Not only does it help you decode those fast-paced conversations,
Right.
but it also attunes your ear to the natural flow and rhythm of the language.
So let's get to the good stuff.
Yes.
What are some techniques that can really help us level up our listening game?
Well, the script dives into a range of strategies.
Oh, yeah?
And one that I find particularly effective is active listening with podcasts.
Oh, podcasts are my jam.
Yeah.
But there are so many out there.
I know, right?
Where do you even begin?
That's where the script's advice comes in handy.
Okay.
Starting with podcasts specifically designed for English learners can be a game changer.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Instead of diving headfirst into a native level podcast,
Right.
easing in with something more manageable is probably a good idea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Podcasts like Voice of America, Learning English, or 6-Minute English from the BBC offer a structured approach with clear pronunciation and simplified language. They also cover a wide range of topics, so you can find something that piques your interest.
All right, so we start with learner-friendly podcasts to build confidence and get used to the flow.
Right.
But I'm curious what's next. How do we take it to the next level?
Well, the beauty of podcasts is that you can gradually level up as your skills grow.
Oh, okay.
Once you feel comfortable with those beginner-friendly options,
Yeah.
you can explore podcasts like All Ears English or Espresso English, which delve a bit deeper into grammar, vocabulary, and cultural nuances.
I like that idea of a progressive approach.
Yeah,
It's like those video games where you unlock new levels
exactly.
as you master the previous ones.
And ultimately, the goal is to transition to podcasts that truly captivate you,
Right?
regardless of whether they are specifically geared towards language learners.
Okay.
Think TED Talks Daily, Stuff You Should Know,
Yeah.
or even podcasts related to your hobbies or professional interests.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Engaging with content you're genuinely interested in makes the learning process so much more enjoyable.
Absolutely.
But even with learner-friendly podcasts, sometimes I struggle to catch every word. Any tips for dealing with that feeling of being overwhelmed?
Absolutely.
Oh,
Active listening isn't just about passively absorbing sounds, it's about engaging with the material.
okay.
The script highlights some simple yet powerful techniques that can make a world of difference.
Okay. I'm all ears.
All right.
Let's dive into those.
One incredibly effective technique is the listen, pause, repeat method.
Okay.
It's as straightforward as it sounds.
Right.
Listen to a short segment.
Yeah.
Pause the audio and try to repeat what you heard, focusing on pronunciation and intonation.
So it's like breaking down the audio into bite-sized pieces and really focusing on the details.
It helps you train your ear to identify individual sounds
Yeah.
and grasp the flow of spoken English.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to rewind and listen multiple times.
Right.
Each repetition strengthens those neural pathways and makes comprehension more automatic.
I can see how that would be helpful,
Yeah,
especially when dealing with faster speakers or unfamiliar accents.
absolutely.
It's like hitting the slow motion button on those tricky parts.
Another technique the script emphasizes is shadowing,
Okay.
which involves mimicking a speaker in real time.
Shadowing. That sounds intriguing.
Yeah.
How does that work?
It's like being a vocal echo. You
Okay.
listen to the speaker and try to replicate their words' intonation. Yeah.
And even their pace as closely as possible.
So it's like a pronunciation boot camp,
Exactly.
working on those micro movements of the mouth and tongue.
And the beauty of shadowing is that it engages multiple skills simultaneously.
Oh,
Listening, pronunciation,
yeah.
and even rhythm.
Wow.
It's like a full-body workout for your spoken English.
Okay, I'm adding shadowing to my practice routine.
Yeah.
It sounds challenging, but in a really good way.
Good.
But what about visual learners like me? I tend to grasp things better when I can see what's going on.
Okay.
Does the script address that?
It absolutely does.
Okay.
In fact, it dedicates a significant portion to the power of harnessing visual context through movies and TV shows.
Okay. I was hoping you'd say
Yeah.
I'm a huge movie buff,
Yeah.
so this is right up my alley.
Perfect.
What are some of the key takeaways?
The script emphasizes the idea that movies and shows provide a multisensory learning experience.
Okay.
The visuals act as anchors for the language.
Making it easier to grasp meaning and context.
It's like having those illustrative flashcards come to life, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they recommend starting with familiar content, perhaps a movie you've already seen in your native language.
Okay.
Watch it with English subtitles first,
Yeah.
then gradually transition to no subtitles as you become more comfortable.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
I can definitely see how that would build confidence and make the transition smoother.
absolutely.
But with so many movies and shows out there, do they offer any specific recommendations?
They do.
Yeah.
For beginners, they suggest sitcoms like Friends or Modern Family,
Okay.
known for their clear dialogue and everyday language.
Okay.
As you progress,
Yeah.
you can explore shows with richer vocabulary and diverse accents like The Crown or Sherlock.
I'm already adding those to my watch list.
Good.
It's like having a personalized language curriculum curated by Hollywood.
And remember, it's not just about passive watching.
Right.
Engage with the content.
Okay.
Pause, rewind. Replay those tricky parts. Yeah.
And try to mimic the actor's pronunciation and intonation.
So it's like taking those active listening techniques we discussed earlier
Exactly.
and applying them to the world of visual storytelling.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And here's a fun challenge from the script.
Okay.
After watching a scene, try summarizing it in your own words.
Okay.
Or even acting out a dialogue with a friend.
That's a fantastic idea.
Yeah,
It's like transforming those passive viewing sessions into active learning experiences.
precisely.
Yeah.
And speaking of active learning, let's shift gears to another powerful tool.
Okay.
Subtitled videos.
Oh, yeah. Subtitle videos.
Yeah.
I love how accessible they are. YouTube, TED Talks, online courses.
So many.
The options are endless.
Exactly. And the script highlights how subtitles can act as a bridge between spoken and written English,
Yeah.
helping you connect those two worlds more effectively.
It's like having a decoder ring for the language.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
And they suggest a technique called active reading with subtitles.
Active reading. Tell me more. Instead of just passively following the subtitles, try pausing the video after each sentence and reading the text aloud, focusing on pronunciation and intonation.
Okay.
Then replay the audio and compare your pronunciation to the speakers.
So it's like a pronunciation check
Exactly.
and a chance to fine-tune those tricky sounds.
And for an added challenge,
Yeah.
you can even cover the subtitles and try to predict what the speaker will say next based on the context.
Okay, that sounds like a fun way to test my comprehension skills and keep my brain engaged.
Absolutely. And the beauty of subtitled videos is that you can find content on virtually any topic imaginable.
Yeah.
So you can combine your passion for learning English with your interest in science, history, art, or whatever sparks your curiosity.
I love that idea of weaving language learning into your existing interests.
Yes,
It makes the whole process feel less like studying and more like exploration.
absolutely.
But I'm curious, are there any specific platforms or channels you'd recommend for subtitled videos?
Absolutely. The script mentions a few gems that I think you'll find incredibly valuable.
Okay.
For starters, TED Talks are a treasure trove of thought-provoking presentations on a wide range of topics.
Yeah.
And the best part is that they come with meticulously crafted subtitles in multiple languages.
Ooh, TED Talks are a classic.
Yeah,
I love how they introduce you to new ideas and perspectives
absolutely.
while also providing a great opportunity to practice listening.
And for a more conversational style,
Right?
YouTube channels like Easy English or Learn English with English Class 101 offer engaging videos with clear subtitles on everyday topics, grammar explanations, and cultural insights.
I'm definitely going to check those out.
Good.
It's amazing how much high-quality content is available online for free.
It really is. And if you're looking for something a bit more interactive,
Oh.
online learning platforms like Coursera or ADX offer a wide array of courses with subtitled video lectures.
Oh, what?
You can dive into subjects you're passionate about
Right.
while simultaneously honing your English skills.
That's a win-win situation right there.
Exactly.
Learning new things and improving my English at the same time.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
All right.
But before we get carried away with all these fantastic resources,
Okay.
there's one more area I want to touch upon. Music.
Okay.
Music is such a universal language,
Yeah.
and I feel like it has a special power to unlock listening skills.
Yeah.
Does the script delve into that at all?
It does.
Right.
And it highlights how music can be a secret weapon for language learners.
I'm all for secret weapons. Tell me more.
Well, music has this incredible ability to tap into our emotional centers and make learning feel effortless.
Right.
The rhythm, the repetition, the catchy melodies,
Yeah.
they all help imprint language patterns in our brains in a way that feels almost subconscious.
I've definitely experienced that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I find myself singing along to English songs without even realizing I'm picking up new words and phrases.
Exactly. And the script suggests some strategies for maximizing the learning potential of music.
Okay, lay it on me. What are they?
One simple yet effective technique is to choose songs with clear lyrics and slower tempos,
Okay.
especially when you're starting out.
Right.
Think artists like Ed Sheeran, Adele, or John Legend.
Okay.
Their music is known for its clarity and emotional resonance.
Those are some solid choices.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling inspired to create a new playlist.
And while listening,
Yeah.
actively engage with the lyrics,
Real quick.
read along, sing along,
Okay.
and try to mimic the singer's pronunciation and intonation.
It's like turning karaoke night into a language learning session.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of repetition. Listening to a song multiple times can help solidify those words and phrases in your memory.
I've definitely noticed that.
Yeah.
Sometimes the song gets stuck in my head.
Right.
And then suddenly I realize I've memorized the whole verse without even trying.
That's the magic of music at work.
Yeah.
And for an added challenge,
Okay.
try listening to a song without looking at the lyrics.
Okay.
See how much you can understand.
That's a great way to test my comprehension skills and track my progress.
And if you're up for a real brain workout,
Oh, boy.
try writing down the lyrics as you listen.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a fantastic way to sharpen your listening, spelling, and vocabulary all at once.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list of music-based language challenges.
Good.
This deep dive is really opening my eyes to all the different ways we can incorporate listening practice into our daily lives.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, does the script talk about English learning apps at all?
It does.
Okay.
And it highlights how apps can provide a structured and personalized approach to listening practice.
I love how interactive and engaging apps can be.
Yeah.
It's like having a virtual language tutor in your pocket.
Exactly. And they recommend a few apps that are particularly well-suited for honing listening skills.
Okay.
One standout is Duolingo.
Okay.
It's known for its bite-sized lessons and gamified approach, making learning feel fun and addictive.
Ooh, Duolingo. I've heard great things about it.
That's a good one.
What are some of the other apps they recommend?
Another popular choice is Babbel. It focuses on real-life conversations and offers a wide range of interactive exercises,
Yeah.
including listening comprehension activities.
And for those who prefer a more immersive experience,
Yes.
Rosetta Stone is known for its emphasis on visual learning and natural language acquisition.
It is.
And let's not forget about Memrise.
Yeah, good one.
It uses mnemonics and spaced repetition
Right.
to help you memorize new vocabulary and phrases effectively.
And for those who are visually inclined, Linguist offers a visually engaging platform that helps you learn new words in context.
It's amazing how many options are out there,
I know.
each with its own unique approach and strength.
Yeah.
But with so many choices, it can be tough to know where to start.
It can be.
Any tips for navigating the app landscape?
That's a great question. The script emphasizes the importance of finding an app that aligns with your learning style and goals.
Oh,
Experiment with a few different options and see which one resonates with you the most.
I like that advice. It's like finding the perfect pair of shoes.
Yeah,
You need to try on a few before you find the one that fits just right.
exactly.
But even with the best apps and resources, sometimes the biggest hurdle is finding the time and motivation to practice consistently.
I agree.
Right.
It's a common challenge,
Yeah.
and the script addresses it head on.
Okay, I'm ready to hear their wisdom.
All right.
What's their secret for building a solid routine?
They emphasize the power of small, consistent habits.
Hmm.
Instead of trying to cram in hours of practice,
Right.
aim for just 15, 20 minutes each day.
I can definitely manage that.
Good.
It's about making those small, incremental steps that add up over time.
Exactly, and they suggest weaving those short bursts of practice into your existing routine.
Okay.
Listen to a podcast during your commute.
Hmm.
Watch a subtitled video while you eat lunch.
Or listen to English music while you exercise.
It's like those micro workouts for your brain.
Exactly.
Right.
And another key tip is to vary your practice activities.
Yeah.
To keep things fresh and engaging.
Yeah.
Don't just stick to one app or one type of content.
Right.
Mix it up with podcasts, movies, music,
Yeah.
and interactive exercises to keep your brain stimulated and prevent boredom.
Variety is the spice of life, as they say.
Absolutely.
And it seems like it's the key to a sustainable language learning journey as well.
And remember, even if you only have a few minutes to spare, make the most of it.
Right.
Even a short burst of focused listening can be incredibly beneficial.
It's about quality over quantity, right?
Exactly.
Making those few minutes count.
And consistency is key.
Okay.
Even if you miss a day or two, don't beat yourself up.
Right.
Just get back on track and keep moving forward.
Right.
The most important thing is to make listening practice a regular part of your life.
This has been incredibly helpful.
I feel like I have a whole new arsenal of techniques and strategies at my disposal.
Yeah.
But even with all this knowledge, there's still times when I feel like I hit a wall.
Okay.
You know, those moments where I'm just like, wait, what did they just say?
Those moments are inevitable even for seasoned language learners.
Yeah.
But the good news is that the script offers some practical advice for overcoming those listening roadblocks.
Oh, good. I was hoping they'd have some wisdom to share.
Yeah.
What are their top tips for dealing with those challenging moments?
Well, one common roadblock is encountering unfamiliar accents.
Oh, yeah.
The script suggests a strategic approach to acclimatizing your ear to different accents.
Okay.
Start with accents you're already familiar with, like American or British English.
Yeah.
And gradually branch out to other accents, like Australian or Irish English.
Like gradually expanding your ear's comfort zone one accent at a time.
Exactly. And don't hesitate to utilize the resources available to you. Websites like IDEA International Dialects of English Archive offer recordings of speakers from various English-speaking regions.
That's a fantastic resource, like having a passport to the world of English accents.
And another common challenge is dealing with fast speakers.
Oh, yes. That feeling of being completely lost in a whirlwind of words.
I know.
What do they suggest for tackling that speed demon?
The script offers a simple yet effective solution.
Okay.
Slow down the playback speed.
Oh.
Most podcast apps and video players have this feature, allowing you to reduce the speed without distorting the audio.
It's like having a personalized speed control for the spoken word.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to start at a slower speed, even if it feels a bit unnatural at first. As you become more comfortable with the content, you can gradually increase the speed until you're back to normal pace.
It's like training wheels for your ears.
Exactly.
I like that.
And here's another tip for dealing with fast speakers.
Okay.
Focus on keywords and phrases rather than trying to catch every single word.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah.
It's about prioritizing the most important information and letting go of the need to understand every nuance.
Exactly. And remember, even native speakers don't catch every single word in a conversation.
That's reassuring to hear.
Yeah.
It's about getting the gist of the message right.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And context is key.
Okay.
Pay attention to the speaker's tone of voice, body language, and the overall situation to help you fill in the gaps.
It's like being a language detective, piecing together clues to unlock the meaning.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of repetition. Listen to a challenging piece of audio multiple times, and you'll be surprised how much more you understand with each listen.
It's like those hidden picture puzzles where you start to see more and more details as you look closer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And another challenge that many learners face is dealing with background noise.
Oh, I know that struggle all too well.
Yeah.
Whether it's the hum of traffic or the chatter of people in a cafe.
Right.
Distractions can make it incredibly difficult to focus on the spoken word.
They can.
It's like trying to listen to a whisper in a hurricane.
Exactly. And the script offers some practical solutions for minimizing those auditory distractions.
Oh, good.
If possible, try to find a quiet environment for your listening practice. If that's not feasible, Noise-canceling headphones can be a game changer.
I love my noise-canceling headphones.
Yeah,
It's like having a personal soundproof booth wherever I go.
exactly. And if you're listening to audio on your phone or computer,
Okay.
be sure to adjust the volume accordingly.
Right.
You want the speaker's voice to be clear and prominent without being drowned out by background noise.
It's all about finding that sweet spot for optimal listening clarity.
Exactly. And another tip for dealing with background noise is to try focusing on the speaker's lips as they talk. This can help you visually distinguish the sounds they are making,
Yeah,
even if the audio is a bit muddled.
that's a great tip. It's like adding a visual layer to the listening experience.
Exactly. And remember, the more you practice listening in challenging environments,
Yeah.
the better your brain will become at filtering out distractions and focusing on the important sounds.
It's like building those mental muscles for auditory focus.
Exactly.
Right.
And one final tip for overcoming listening roadblocks is to be patient with yourself. Learning a language takes time and effort,
It does.
and there will be moments of frustration along the way,
Yeah.
but don't let those setbacks discourage you.
Right.
Celebrate your progress, embrace the challenges, and keep practicing,
Yeah.
and you'll be amazed at how far you can go.
That's such an important reminder.
Yeah,
It's about focusing on the journey, not just the destination.
absolutely.
And speaking of the journey, I feel like we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive already.
We have.
From podcasts and movies to subtitled videos and music, we've explored a whole spectrum of techniques and resources for maximizing our English listening skills.
I think it's important to emphasize that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to language learning. The key is to find what works best for you
Right.
and to make listening practice an enjoyable and integral part of your daily routine.
That's such a valuable takeaway.
Yeah.
It's about personalizing the learning experience
Absolutely.
and finding those methods that spark joy and motivation.
As you continue on your language learning journey, remember to be curious, to experiment, and to embrace those moments of challenge as opportunities for growth. With dedication and the right approach, you'll be amazed at how far you can go.
I love that. It's about embracing the process,
Yeah.
finding the fun in the journey.
And remember, the ultimate goal is to use your listening skills to connect with others,
Right.
to understand new ideas, and to experience the world in a richer, more meaningful way.
Yeah.
So keep listening, keep learning, and keep exploring. And I guarantee you'll be amazed at the doors that open up for you.
I'm feeling so inspired and motivated to level up my listening game. But before we get too carried away, I think it's time for a quick break.
Okay.
When we come back, we'll delve into even more practical tips and resources that you can use to supercharge your English listening skills.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned.
Welcome back. I'm excited to dive into some more strategies that can really amplify your listening comprehension.
I'm all ears. What else do we have in store?
The script actually highlights something that might seem counterintuitive at first, embracing the challenge of difficult material.
Wait, really? Isn't it better to stick to content that's easier to understand, especially when you're starting out?
Well, it's tempting to stay in our comfort zone, but pushing your boundaries is where the real growth happens.
Okay. I'm intrigued. How do we go about doing that strategically?
The script suggests the idea of deliberate difficulty. It's about intentionally choosing material that's slightly above your current level.
So not jumping into the deep end right away, but wading into the slightly deeper waters.
Exactly. Think of it as a workout for your listening muscles. You might not understand every single word, but the act of grappling with complex language stretches your comprehension abilities and helps you develop new strategies for deciphering meaning.
That makes sense. It's like pushing yourself to run a little farther or lift a little heavier each time.
Precisely. And the script emphasizes that this doesn't mean setting yourself up for failure. It's about finding that sweet spot where you're challenged but not overwhelmed.
Okay, so we're aiming for a healthy dose of challenge, not a full-blown language meltdown.
Exactly. And remember, it's not about achieving perfect comprehension on the first try. It's about exposing yourself to a wider range of language and training your brain to adapt to different speeds, accents, and complexities.
I like that mindset. It's about embracing the process and viewing those challenging moments as opportunities for growth. But I'm curious, are there any specific strategies we can use when we encounter those deliberately difficult materials?
Absolutely. One tip from the script is to focus on the overall meaning rather than getting hung up on individual words. Try to identify the main idea, the key points, and the speaker's tone of voice.
So it's about seeing the forest for the trees, right? Getting the big picture instead of getting lost in the details.
Exactly. And another strategy is to use context clues to your advantage. Pay attention to the surrounding words, the visuals, if there are any, and the overall situation to help you infer the meaning of unfamiliar words or phrases.
It's like being a language detective, piecing together clues to solve the mystery of meaning.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to use your resources. Look up unfamiliar words in a dictionary, use online translation tools, or even ask a native speaker for clarification.
Those are all great tips. It's about being proactive and resourceful in those challenging moments. But I'm wondering, what if we're practicing with audio-only materials like a podcast or an audiobook? How can we utilize those context clues when there are no visuals to rely on?
That's a great question. And the script offers some specific strategies for navigating those audio-only situations. One key tip is to pay close attention to the speaker's intonation and emphasis. They often highlight important words or phrases by changing their pitch volume or pace.
Ah, that makes sense. It's like those subtle cues in music that signal a change in mood or tempo.
Exactly. And another strategy is to listen for transitional words and phrases. Words like however, therefore, in addition, and on the other hand, can help you understand the relationships between ideas and anticipate what the speaker might say next.
Those transitional words are like signposts, guiding us through the flow of the conversation.
Precisely. And remember, even if you don't understand every single word, don't give up. Keep listening, keep paying attention to the context, and you'll be amazed at how much your brain can piece together over time.
It's like training those mental muscles for comprehension, right? The more we challenge ourselves, the stronger we become.
Exactly. And speaking of challenging ourselves, let's talk about another hurdle that many English learners face: the fear of making mistakes.
Oh, the dreaded fear of making mistakes. It can be so paralyzing. How do we address that?
The script emphasizes the importance of shifting our perspective on mistakes. Instead of viewing them as failures, we need to see them as valuable learning opportunities.
Okay, that's a refreshing way to look at it,
Hmm.
but how do we put that into practice?
Well, one key step is to create a safe and supportive learning environment for ourselves. Surround yourself with people who encourage your growth and who don't judge you for making mistakes.
It's like having a supportive cheer squad for your language learning journey.
Exactly. And remember, even native speakers make mistakes. It's a natural part of language use, and it doesn't diminish your intelligence or your ability to communicate effectively.
That's a good point. It's about letting go of that perfectionism and embracing the imperfections that make us human.
Precisely. And one practical way to overcome the fear of making mistakes is to practice speaking in low-pressure situations. Talk to yourself in English, record yourself reading aloud, or find a language partner who is also learning and who is comfortable with making mistakes.
Those are all great ideas. It's about easing into those speaking opportunities and building confidence gradually.
Exactly. As you become more comfortable with making mistakes, you'll find that your fluency and confidence will naturally improve.
It's like those training wheels we talked about earlier, but for speaking.
Precisely.
Mm.
And remember, every mistake you make is an opportunity to learn and grow.
It's about turning those stumbles into stepping stones.
Exactly. And speaking of stepping stones, let's shift gears to a topic that's often overlooked but incredibly important: the power of note-taking.
Note-taking. I usually associate that with lectures or meetings, but how does it apply to listening practice?
The script highlights how note-taking can actually be a powerful tool for enhancing comprehension and retention.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Well, when we take notes while listening, we're actively engaging with the material and forcing our brains to process the information more deeply. We're not just passively absorbing sounds, we're actively making connections, identifying key points, and creating a mental framework for understanding.
So it's like creating a roadmap for our brains to follow as we navigate the information.
Exactly. And the act of writing things down also helps solidify those concepts in our memory.
I've definitely noticed that when I take notes during meetings or lectures, it's like those ideas have a better chance of sticking around in my brain.
Precisely. And the script suggests some specific strategies for effective note-taking during listening practice.
Okay, I'm ready to level up my note-taking game. What are their top tips?
One key tip is to focus on keywords and phrases rather than trying to write down every single word. Think of yourself as a journalist capturing the most important highlights of the story.
It's about distilling the essence of the message.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to use abbreviation symbols or even your own personal shorthand. The goal is to create a system that works for you and that allows you to capture information quickly and efficiently.
It's like creating your own secret code for language learning.
And another tip is to use different colors or highlighters to visually organize your notes. This can help you quickly identify key themes, vocabulary words, or areas where you need further clarification.
I love using colors in my notes.
Hmm.
It makes them so much more visually appealing and easier to process.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to get creative with your note-taking style. Some people prefer to use mind maps, diagrams, or even sketches to capture information. Experiment with different formats and find what works best for you.
It's about finding that sweet spot between functionality and personal expression.
Precisely. And one final tip for effective note-taking is to review your notes regularly. Don't just let them languish in a notebook or on your computer. Revisit them, quiz yourself on the key concepts, and use them as a springboard for further practice.
It's like turning those notes into a dynamic study guide.
Exactly. And remember, the goal of note-taking isn't to create a perfect transcript of the audio. It's about actively engaging with the material and creating a personalized record of your learning journey.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I have a whole new appreciation for the power of note-taking in language learning. But I'm wondering, are there any specific tools or apps that can enhance our note-taking experience?
Absolutely. The script mentions a few resources that might be particularly helpful for English learners. One popular option is Evernote. It's a versatile note-taking app that allows you to create, organize, and share your notes across multiple devices.
Ooh, Evernote. I've heard great things about it. What are some of the other tools they recommend?
Another popular choice is Google Keep. It's a simple yet powerful note-taking app that seamlessly integrates with other Google services. And for those who prefer a more visual approach, MindMeister is a great option for creating mind maps and brainstorming ideas.
I love the idea of using mind maps to visually represent those connections between words and concepts.
Exactly. And for those who enjoy the tactile experience of pen and paper, a good old-fashioned notebook and a set of colorful pens can be incredibly effective.
I'm a big fan of pen and paper. There's something so satisfying about physically writing things down.
And remember, the best note-taking tool is the one that you'll actually use consistently. So experiment with different options and find what works best for you and your learning style.
This deep dive has been a real eye-opener. I feel like I have a whole new arsenal of techniques and strategies for maximizing my English listening comprehension.
Me too. It's amazing how many simple yet powerful tools are available to us, and it's all about finding those that resonate with our individual learning styles and goals.
And I love how this conversation has shifted my perspective on listening practice. It's not just about passively absorbing sounds. It's about actively engaging with the material, pushing our boundaries, and embracing those moments of challenge as opportunities for growth.
I couldn't agree more. It's about transforming those seemingly mundane moments of listening into dynamic learning experiences.
Exactly. And speaking of dynamic learning experiences, I feel like we've only just scratched the surface of this fascinating topic. There's so much more to explore and discover.
I agree. And that's the beauty of language learning. It's an ongoing journey of discovery, and there's always something new to learn and appreciate.
I'm so excited to continue this journey and to put all these amazing tips and strategies into practice.
Me too. And I'm confident that as you embrace those challenges and cultivate those daily habits, you'll be amazed at how far you can go.
I'm ready to level up my listening game and to unlock a whole new world of understanding and connection.
And I can't wait to see what amazing things you achieve. But for now, let's take a little breather, and when we come back, we'll delve into some specific resources and tools that you can use to supercharge your English listening skills. Stay tuned.
All right, we're back and ready to dive into that treasure trove of resources you mentioned.
Yes.
I'm especially excited about this part because having a curated list feels so much more manageable than just wandering aimlessly through the internet.
Yeah, it's like having a personalized guide through the vast jumble of language learning resources.
So where do we begin? What are some of the gems that really stood out in the script?
Well, for starters, they highlight a few podcasts that are specifically designed for English learners.
Okay.
One that I personally recommend is Learn English Podcast by the British Council.
Mm.
They offer a wide range of episodes on diverse topics,
Yeah.
and they always provide clear explanations and transcripts, which are incredibly helpful for reinforcing comprehension.
Oh, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
I love the idea of having transcripts to refer back to.
Yeah,
It's like having a safety net for those moments when you miss a word or phrase.
exactly. And another podcast that they recommend is All Ears English.
Okay.
It's hosted by two engaging teachers who focus on American English, and they delve into a lot of practical tips for everyday conversations, idioms, and pronunciation.
That sounds right up my alley. I'm always looking for ways to sound more natural and confident when I speak.
And for those who enjoy a bit of humor with their language learning, Espresso English is a great option.
Okay.
They offer short, engaging lessons on grammar, vocabulary, and idioms, and they always sprinkle in a bit of fun to keep things lighthearted.
I love that approach. Learning a language shouldn't feel like a chore. It should be enjoyable and engaging.
Absolutely. And for those who prefer visual learning,
Yeah.
YouTube is an incredible resource.
Okay.
One channel that stands out is English with Lucy.
Okay.
She's a fantastic teacher who offers clear explanations, engaging visuals, and a wide range of videos on grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation.
Oh, English with Lucy. I've heard great things about her channel. I'm definitely adding that to my list.
And another YouTube channel worth checking out is Rachel's English.
Oh?
She's an expert in American pronunciation,
Mm-hmm.
and she offers a wealth of videos on accent reduction, intonation, and clear speech.
That sounds incredibly helpful. I know pronunciation is an area where I could definitely use some improvement.
And if you're looking for a more immersive experience,
Okay.
the script recommends exploring the world of English language films and TV shows.
Ooh, that's one of my favorite ways to practice listening.
Yeah.
But with so many options available, where do you even begin?
They suggest starting with content that you already enjoy
If-
or that aligns with your interests. If you're a fan of romantic comedies, try watching a classic like Notting Hill or a more recent hit like To All the Boys I've Loved Before.
Those are both great suggestions. And for those who love a good mystery, Knives Out or the Sherlock Holmes series are fantastic options.
Exactly. And the beauty of movies and TV shows is
Yeah.
that they provide a wealth of context clues.
Right.
The visuals, the body language, the tone of voice,
Right.
they all contribute to your understanding of the dialogue.
It's like having those subtitles built into the story itself.
Precisely. And don't be afraid to experiment with different genres and accents.
Mhm.
Try watching a British crime drama, an Australian comedy, or a Canadian documentary.
Oh, wow.
You'll be amazed at the diversity and richness of the English language.
I love that idea. It's
Yeah.
like taking a virtual tour of the English-speaking world through the lens of film and television.
And if you're looking for a more structured approach, the script recommends checking out online learning platforms like Coursera or edX.
Oh, those platforms are fantastic.
Yeah.
They offer such a wide variety of courses on virtually every topic imaginable.
Exactly. And many of these courses offer video lectures with transcripts, which can be incredibly helpful for language learners.
It's like having a personalized language tutor guiding you through the material.
And for those who prefer a more gamified approach,
Yeah.
Duolingo is a great option.
Okay.
They offer bite-sized lessons and interactive exercises that make language learning feel fun and engaging.
Duolingo is a classic. I love their little green owl mascot.
And for those who are more visual learners,
Okay.
Babbel is another popular app that focuses on real-life conversations and offers a lot of visual aids and interactive exercises.
I've heard great things about Babbel. It seems like there's truly an app for everyone, no matter your learning style or preferences.
Exactly. And remember, the most important thing
Yeah.
is to find resources that you enjoy and that you'll actually use consistently.
Consistency is key. It's about making language learning a regular part of our lives,
Yeah.
even if it's just for a few minutes each day.
Exactly. And with all these amazing resources at our fingertips, there's really no excuse not to dive in and start exploring the world of English listening.
I'm feeling so inspired and motivated to continue this journey. This deep dive has been a real game changer for me.
Me too. It's been a pleasure exploring these strategies and resources with you.
And remember, everyone, the key takeaway is that improving your English listening skills is achievable and enjoyable with the right approach and a dash of enthusiasm. So keep those ears tuned in, keep practicing, and most importantly, have fun.
Happy listening.